Hello and welcome to We, Me and Us. We are delighted to have you here as we dive into the exciting journey of leading, coaching and transforming organizations in our rapidly changing world. I'm Pierre Neis, your host and Agile coach. I'm truly passionate about sharing real-world insights with those eager to create meaningful change. At We, Me and Us, we're all about exploring new tools and perspectives that inspire impactful transformation. Let's embark on this journey together. Good morning, everybody. Here's Pierre. I take the opportunity this morning to talk with you about something I have to do actually at this moment in time. Here's the context. I'm reaching the end of my mission, nearly a year, with a company, a banking IT department, which is an IT company from a banking group from the Balkans. And we're on a way on an Agile transformation. It was quite interesting because the way we addressed Agile coaching or Agile transformation is exactly what I told you, I'd explained you the last time. We were using the AO approach. What does it mean? It means when we discuss with my sponsors, the leadership team at the beginnings, what we came up with the question, what do you want to achieve with Agile? Because we're not implementing a methodology, right? What do you need to do? So on the one hand, we came out with the idea, okay, we want to have better interaction with the banks. We want to have better feedback. We have to be faster in the delivery, increasing the quality. But most of it is we want to keep this kind of atmosphere we had long time ago when we were a startup. Now we are 600 people big. It's getting different. We need to care about a lot of things. There's a lot of challenges. And by the way, we want to be a product-based company. So what does it mean product-based company? Means you have one single vision. You're not only a service provider. If you not have a focus about developing a solution that you sell to the bank, let's say core banking system, web banking system, or other kind of systems, you become just another service provider or just a support team, some kind of advanced offshore body shopper, which is not really interesting for people who, let's say, were even at the beginning of the development of the solution, not even at the beginning of the change or transformation of the company, or even from the holding, the group. But there's a couple of things you have to think about. Okay, what does it make sense? What is the purpose of what we're doing here? It's pretty easy when you have a very small company, let's say small is under 50. This is quite manageable. You still have the vision. When it becomes bigger, it's way more complicated. So we came out of the idea, okay, what should we do? What should we do at the management board to say we want to use Agile at Scale approach? The Agile at Scale approach, just well known in the banking sector, is this kind of mix of OKRs, what they call Spotify, and sometimes the SAFe methodology or the Scrum at Scale methodology, sometimes the less. They usually never seen something else. Or you can have different options, but usually these are the main solutions. When we had a conversation, okay, how do we use it? See, in the conversation, let's say conversation, interaction, because I consider myself more like a sparring partner, we come out to say that the methodology is the outcome, is not the input. So this is what we did long time ago maybe even in the other century when people say, oh, we want to be lean, or we want to use Hermes methodology, or Capital Hermes for Luxembourg, or we want to use the PMI methodology. In fact, when you do it, you don't use it. But it's only the reporting at the end that has to fit in these boxes. So then you can see, oh, this changed a lot of things. Yes, because when you have something I saw 1.5 years ago in UK, we had a forced approach of SAFe. Then you have this 5 to 6 different people doing the same report every week. A lot of people managing things from different angles. Very little people doing actually the work. You're mostly supporting non-productive systems, meaning, and you're doing not really concrete. This is not sense-making approach. Or this large company, we have to have 5,000 teams. And they say we want to implement here the Agile at scale approach, supported by my former colleagues from the BCG. And they say, oh, we are doing this, but you discover that management is never talking to operations. Those who are creating the values are never considered, or never involved. But you have a lot of conversation on the top, right? Which is per se not too bad. But the problem is the purpose of one part, which is the what we call Spotify, is the idea is unbundling the how can I say, unbundling the baronies, is unbundling the service line into a product line. And here you have resistance. So you have people, I'm a service line manager or line manager. I just rebranding myself into a product owner, but I'm changing nothing. In fact, they're just handling FTAs. So just their purpose is not to create value. Their purpose is to increase the power by having more people. And this is not really interesting, not really necessary. It's really pretty not good for any kind of businesses. Is that bad or wrong? No. Wait a second. I'm not judging here at all. I just explain how it works. Sometimes you do it because the system has been designed this way, that you have no other choice than doing it. Maybe you try one time, and the next week you will be blamed by the committees, and then you have to run out to play the game with everyone. So that's a challenge. Then the second point, the OKRs. OKRs are very interesting. OKRs is something you relate to the vision. You have a vision for 2025. Then you can see this is my annual vision. You can link to what we call the ABR, annual business review, based on did we reach the vision. Then you make a retro planning. And you make a retro planning what happens the quarter before, and the quarter before, and the quarter before. Then you have your milestones. Then you have your quarterly goals. Then you can make the quarterly business reviews, which then links to the OKRs. Then OKRs are objectives and key results. So I saw OKRs which are increasing the sales, reducing the cost, increasing the revenue, reducing the cost. Sorry, these are not objectives. This is just common sense, right? Nobody has as common sense, I want to spend all money on the earth for free so we can get bankrupt. This is no sense making. So this is what I saw at SAP. Sorry, guys. Only one person did it. So it was weird, but messed up all the system. So OKRs are not KPIs. KPIs is limiting your focus on one single shot or one single metric. It usually makes only sense for you, not for us, for the global. So objective key results is very interesting. But the problem is people don't do it properly. They're not doing Spotify. And they're pretty not doing the Agile at scale or even Scrum at scale or the less approach or let's say the safe approach, right? These are just methodologies. This is good for reporting and the compliance. So we'll keep this at what we call team at team level. At team level, you have to take the nature of work. So in fact, here, one disclaimer is, how do we organize work? Work is organized around value streams. And another disclaimer here, the value streams are not defined top-down. Value streams are emergent. It means we are going to the Gemba or to the shop floor at the end when the value goes through, and you ask the question, you're moving upstream until you get the real value stream. Then you say, we call it way of working or the wow. And then you're going upstream, you see the value stream, you know how to work. Then you define, okay, and how do we work together? What are the interaction? Based on this, you are able now to choose what kind of methodology tools support you to work better, and not the other way around. It's not, here's the framework, try to fit in the framework. Sorry, no, Agile is the other way around. How we work, what makes sense for you, and then you build around this, so you keep the motivation, you keep the engagement of people, and you're not losing them. So this was the angle. So for all the workshops I did, so every week, in 2 hours I'm flying to Pristina in Kosovo to run my last session with them in Kosovo. And this will be 3 days. And in 3 days, we start with a retrospective and a planning session. And the last day is just a half a day theory, just to fix what they learned. And the afternoon is question and answers and a little quiz, which is more fun to wrapping up. And this is what I did since May last year. So actually, I trained 500 people. I just have 100 people left, so I trained the whole company. When in this case, I say whole company, it's not only IT people. It's the IT, the developers, the supporters, the people doing support, the people doing operations, the HR, the office managers, the finance people, the InfoSec or information security people, the legal people, the procurement people, so learning and development people, the people producing the credit cards, the people ensuring the maintenance of ATM systems, so the guys driving with the cars, all our ATM systems, and if we go to shop floor, let's say the whole company. The idea we decided together, because we decided with the customer, with Lee, I will give the name because I will invite Lee here, so you get her feedback. And you say, what is the definition of done? What means done? See, in fact, we want to have our people to be able to say no, because we need to have a pushback, but a constructive pushback. We need them to learn to understand how we are working, how it's going in the future, why we have these challenges, and that change is up to them. We are giving the direction, but the change starts with you now. Say, oh, that's a very interesting challenge. So we started the journey together. We started indeed with a 2-day session with the managers. So we had in parallel 3 sessions with, so it was around 60 managers. And I asked people from my network, because I'm not working alone, using the CAC, Certified Agile Coach Training Program Network, and the people from the Play 14 network to make it happen. Because you need to have special skills, because we are not instructors. We are educators. We have here a training line, a scenario. We have a content we need to adjust. But most of it, your job is to listen to the audience. You have to coach the audience. In a way, you're supervising, you're addressing, okay, code of ethics, how you work, is that okay? You have to read and you focus on the people all the time so you can adjust. This is what I call transformational learning. So it's mostly experience, jumping from one exercise to another, so they feel, they stand up, they understand, asking questions, very, very interactive. And for them, really, really intense. And this is where you can fix the change, and you can go through any kind of learning approaches, like kinesthetic or maybe just visual or whatever. Everybody need is up to you. So you have to have coaching skills. So we did this here, and all the rest I did alone, because I'm selfish. No, we went this way because it's quite, you have to adjust the content. You have to adjust all the time the way you're facilitating the workshops. I express. Here are some examples. If you think of software development, this is quite easy. There's a lot of documentation everywhere. This is, you can use a methodology called Scrum, or you can use Kanban. The risk with Kanban is you have the flow, but fine. The risk is you're not having there's lacking a little bit the team building part. Scrum, if you follow Scrum and you wait until the end of a sprint to deliver, it's bad too. So it's always a mix from Scrum and Kanban. One is more on the lean-ish part, one is more on the agile part, one is more on the organization topic, one is more on the flow topic. So ideally we do the mix. So this is for the software part. Can you discover they're doing like most of the company doing agile. They have software, the development part is for agile, and then when you make QA or the testing part, it's no longer development. Sorry. When we say in agile development, it's development from the whole solution, from the idea until it goes to the customer. This is the development phase. It's not the phase. So I had this with a project manager at SAP. Say, the development part is now the end. We can stop with your Scrum. Now it's going in testing phase. We don't need it. They say, sorry, I need to insist. The war will start tomorrow when we go in testing. Say, no way. Let's just make a bed. And indeed, the war started. It was because you need to take decisions. You have to be collective. And usually people learn when you're on a fire, right? And this is what happens. So development is the whole cycle. So we discover the problems with from the demand until the end. They understand where they have to say no. And the no means not yet. It doesn't mean no for now ever. You can discover also that maybe the way they're thinking in Skopje is a little bit in how they think in Kiev or Moscow, or how this is a little bit different than how they feel in Moldova or in Bucharest, or maybe in Ghana, El Salvador, or even Frankfurt. In fact, there are commonalities. So we stand up on the commonalities and say, this is how we're working. So we're collecting how we work. And so we have one idea. The second part is the delivery team. We have teams called delivery team. So people are talking bits and pieces everywhere, and you have to bundle things together to create a delivery. In fact, how they work, they have a mix of ticketing systems, support, and projects. So they're most likely on the beginning. Some are more like business analysts, some are like more project managers, some are more like support team. For them, they have to understand how we can manage both project support. So we have a lot of information in the Kanban part, but you have some kind of discipline to set up to help you taking decisions, like a business value and story points help you to plan better work. Another challenge was the support, first line support. They're using IT processes, but they have a lot of tickets, like between 200 and 2,000 tickets per day. And they have to triage, to select, maybe to assign this work to other teams. And sometimes you did it wrong. So we try to define how they can work, even the first line of support and the second line of support. And we discover is not only Kanban-ish, is always a mix. We came out with the idea of having, like Scrum, it's a one-day sprint. So you have to work a one-day sprint. The one-day sprint, quite tough, very complicated, but the people in support are very tough. The idea is not to come with a crazy idea, is to collect their information, and together we define what makes sense, what makes no sense, what is the simplest way of working. So we came out with this kind of one-day sprint. So we make one-day sprint. When the daily is a triage, so we make an estimation. You're running the day. You know what kind of work you can do. At the end of the day, you deliver. The thing is, you will have then challenges on the SLAs. And this is something where I can help too. Then we have the back office people, which is quite interesting because back office, if you have a home manager, usually you're alone and you are at the service of everyone. So we can say, oh, this is some kind of scrum master. I say, yes and no. Because if you are at the service of everyone, you have to find a way that you can feel engaged. Some are loving helping people. Some need a mix of something else. They have to be able to see something that becomes a value. I build this. It's important. And some need also a mix with also I can help. But it has to be coherent. So they have a mix of tickets and have also a mix of projects. Right? If you want to redesign a whole office, how you plan, this is a project, right? Typically. Or if you have to just fix because Pierre is arriving, you have to manage the taxis, the hotels, the flights, and my transportation, my response. And they don't have only one Pierre; they have a lot of Pierres, and this company has a lot of people traveling all the time. So it is a lot of interaction, also with interaction with the internal travel agency, and then there's also the required recruitment. So the idea is for them was important to know. Okay, this is Agile. This is how your colleague will work. And this is where we need you. And maybe this is how you can also work this way. So let's say from you alone. So we talk about personal agility, which my personal agility is a mix between personal Kanban and personal agility. And then is also we have created a virtual team with all different office managers between Bucharest, Skopje, Pristina, Frankfurt, Kiev, so they can speak together and share ideas on a weekly basis. So, and there's a couple of things, same thing for finance. We had a great conversation. I cannot talk here. We had the same conversation with compliance. Where is compliance acting? Where is InfoSec acting? How we need InfoSec? Where we don't need InfoSec? You're not stop and goes. You're coming at the end, or your pig, or your chicken. This is quite interesting. It was a great conversation, but the idea is to make it simple. It's not rocket science. The problem is it's not engineering at all. It's human science. It's pretty much about how we understand. The idea is to make it simple in a way it has to make sense. It's making sense for the people, not only for me. So you have to listen all the time. So here you need to have coaching skills, deep listening, active listening skills. Facilitation skill makes a lot of sense. That's why I usually work with people for Play 14. They know how to facilitate. So it's not you showing up. It's giving space for people to talk. And yeah, that's it. This is something I wanted to share with you. Now I have to get ready for my next meetings. I had to prepare my luggage to jump in the train to bring to me up to the airport of Zurich. And I have to write the report because we have to have a report so my customer knows what they listen. They see the pictures, the videos we have done. Internally, I don't share it. We are under GDPR. And what else? Hakuna Matata, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Hope you were more than 10 to listen to me. Anyway, this is also good for my customers to understand how I work. So you have a sense. Maybe you're working also like this, or maybe not. So I will really happy to help you, to support you. That's why I do supervision coaching. So supervision means I come to help coaches feeling better, help to people and doing better. So I'm not always full-time there, but I'm coming like a sparring partner helping you moving out. So if you have questions, feel free to ask me the question. I will really happy to give you answers. And that's it. I wish you a lovely day and enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining us at We Win Us. We are excited to be on this journey with you as we support your growth as a leader and change maker, helping you build resilient and agile organizations. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd be grateful if you could share it or connect with us on social media. And if you or someone you know has valuable insights to share, please reach out. I'd be thrilled to feature them. Until next time, keep evolving and stay inspired.